In 2012, my dad died. My dad was my best friend. He was the only person that really never judged me throughout my years. And when I think back in retrospect, he taught me things that really helped me transform. Prior to me moving into this place that I'm in now, I was trapped in a terrible toxic marriage, and he came to visit. It was a terrible time for me. And while I didn't want him to come and visit because I was fighting with my ex at the time, he came with my mom and ended up having to leave because it was just a terrible, toxic environment. But one of the things he shared with me when I was going through this miserable time was that he said that you can't just accept the status quo, that life is too short. And what he meant by that and where I was with regard to my life is that I had been in this second marriage, and I had told him that I was just staying the course because I didn't want to be a two-time loser. And I didn't want to be somebody who was viewed as a two-time loser. I had kids at the time, I had a law practice, and I was struggling financially with the law practice and trying to hold it all together. I was severely overweight, hadn't worked out, and I've shared with you on multiple platforms that I believe I was in a deep depression, functioning depression, and yeah, that happens. Probably 40, 50 pounds overweight, hadn't touched a weight in probably 9 to 10 years at the time. Whereas I used to be a fitness nut for many years, but I just lost myself. And when I shared with my dad this thought of me not wanting to be a two-time loser, he says to me, I'll never forget it, he says to me, "Who cares?" He goes, "Are you kidding me? Who gives a shit?" He goes, "You only have one life. You need to live your life." And it hit me like a ton of bricks when he said that to me, because I think this is what happens to all of us. We go through this period of time in our lives where we question what we're doing, and we get to a point where we just accept where we are. We accept the decisions that we've made because we think there's no alternative, because we don't trust ourselves anymore. We get to a place where we're like, this is the fate that we have to accept because of the decisions that we made. But when he said that to me, I kind of had this like aha moment. And I didn't immediately act on that at that time. That was probably, I'd say 6 months to a year in leading up to my transition of ending up getting divorced and moving on with my life. But it was a place where it kind of provided a little bit of a catalyst for me to start thinking more about myself and recognizing that at the end of the day, all you have is you, and all you have is your free will to do what you need to do. And I think culturally, and I think as a man, what happens is that you have so much pressure on yourself to do all these things, to take care of business, take care of the family, take care of responsibilities, that you lose yourself and you accept the status quo of your existence. And I couldn't handle that anymore. And he brought to my attention this idea that it's your life and you need to live your life to the fullest because you only have one life to live. And it really hit home. And when you think about it, from the perspective of just common sense, you think that we would all as human beings recognize that that's the case. But at the time I was 40-something years old and I was lost. I was lost with the decisions that I had made. So I believe my dad, God rest his soul, was a real catalyst to help me move forward. So how did I do that? How did I go from this overweight, miserable, depressed man to where I eventually am now? Well, it started small. It started with regrouping and thinking about the things that truly made me happy. And one of those things were exercise and working out, something that I had done all my life that I gave up. And one of the reasons I gave it up when I think back in retrospect is because I thought I'd be selfish by doing that. I thought in my mind that by taking the time away from practicing law or doing things related to work and making money, I was being derelict in my duties as a man, in my duties as a father to my family, because I was focusing on myself. But I had to shift my mind and go in a different direction and say, no, by exercising, I'm basically taking care of myself, and it's life sustenance because it's what I truly believe in and it's what makes me happy. And I will become a better person because of it, because I was a better person prior to it. And all we have is our health. So I moved in a different direction and went to a medical provider and had my blood work done and was analyzed, and then started to change my diet and get to a place where I was focusing on me. Included in this transformation of slowly going back to the gym and working out, I had to change some of my habits. Some of the habits that I didn't even believe were sabotaging my existence. And you may have some of these habits, but for me it was getting up in the morning, and then the first thing I'm doing in the morning is eating a pastry or eating some Danish or eating something sweet, something that was terrible for me, and then having my coffee and not doing any exercise, not drinking any fluids. But when I look back again on some of these things that I developed, these habits, I was just self-medicating. I was medicating in a negative way. When I kind of moved in the direction of control over myself, baby steps, I started to get up early and go to the gym early because I felt that going to the gym early, I'd be able to start my day. So that's kind of the place where I worked my way into. And then that became slowly a habit that I started to look forward to. It became a place where I could go and really internalize myself and focus on the things that I needed to do throughout a given day. And believe it or not, with the start of that gym, it helped me develop clarity to move forward in other places. I had to deal with the divorce. I had to deal with the law practice. I had to deal with financial decisions. But going to the gym, working on my health, helped declutter me personally and helped me go to a place in which I could see things with better clarity. And included in that was the fact that in order for me to be a healthy individual, I knew I needed to do things. Slowly, these things became non-negotiable. And included in these non-negotiable items were things related to my sanity, things that I knew I needed to start doing for myself. And I knew by doing these things, I would become a better person. The people around me at the time, they were all kind of in shock, and there was change going on. But I had to do it for me. I had to make sure that in order for me to sustain life and be in a good place, I had to be focused on myself. That included my diet. That included getting up early and going to the gym. That included making decisions with regard to my personal life and my business life. They weren't decisions that the majority voted on. They were personal decisions I had to make for me to sustain my life and move in a positive direction. And in order to do that, it was painful. It took time. It changed and shook up the world, the people around me. But I had to do it for me. And then moving forward, one step at a time, a little bit over time, things become a habit. And you get to a place where you start to have a little bit more clarity and you develop a little bit more understanding of what's going on around you. And you're better suited to be in a place where you can make better decisions. And slowly but surely, I extradited myself out of that toxic relationship, out of the terrible business ventures, into a place that was, let's just say, better serving for me for longevity. And it also put me in a place, God bless, as time progressed, to eventually meet my wife, who I've been with over 15 years now. I would never have been in a place to recognize that your partner, your spouse, needs to be your best friend and support you. Your partner needs to be somebody that elevates you. And when I met my wife, I never in a million years thought that I could actually be a better person, and I wanted to be even more of a better person and not disappoint her in the relationship that we had. And by being the best version of me, she showed me that I could be that person for her, and never wanting to disappoint her. And this is where the transition elevates. This is where we went and where we are now. And these are the things we talk about from a relationship perspective, from the standpoint of business, from the standpoint of health and fitness, from the standpoint of moving forward in life with your careers, all these things. I didn't realize that by having a partner who supports you, who is there for you, who is your best friend, not just sex, not just dating, not just that little funny feeling you get in your stomach. This is about respect. This is about vulnerability. This is about boundaries. This is about holistic life where you're able to be yourself and you're able to do the things that you love doing and grow together and covet the relationship that you develop together. I was in no place prior to meeting my wife to even see that that even existed. I didn't think it existed, but I had to work on myself first in order to even be able to see with clarity that something like that was possible. Some of the other things that I had to do as I moved forward through my transition in life is that I had to lean into the mistakes that I made and recognize that the mistakes that I made are part of me, but they don't own me. They don't define who I am as a human being. These mistakes are all learning. They're all pieces of the puzzle to make me who I am. And I take with them, with pride, the fact that I'm able to pull a little bit from them and I'm better moving forward with the decisions that I make moving forward. And they seasoned me. They put me in a place where now I had the confidence and an understanding of doing things that in the past I may not have had the experience to do. And that's what happens in life. If you're able to take those decisions that you've made and not allow them, especially the negative decisions, not allow them to own you, because you are not your past. Do not allow those decisions to define who you are as a human being. We all make mistakes. We all fail. Without failure, you can't have success. And in life, we have to recognize that. Life is not a highlight reel. Life is not what we see on these social media platforms. Life is tough. Life is hard. And at the end of the day, we need to be the best versions of ourselves. And how do we get there? Well, we get there by accepting a lot of the mistakes that we've made and recognize that they don't define us as human beings. It's all part of life. It's all part of living. But we move forward. We don't allow it to stop us. And we continue on with the journey. And that's what we decided to do. That's what we need to do as human beings in order to be the best version of ourselves. So I share with you these stories, and the reasons why I bring this up is because this transition that I went through took time. It wasn't something that just occurred at an aha moment and then I woke up and the next thing I know, I'm working out, I'm exercising, I'm lean, I'm in great shape. No, it took time. But collectively, with regard to focusing on my health, focusing on my fitness, focusing on my mind, shifting in a different direction, focusing on my relationship, having a healthy relationship with my wife, being in a place where I could, with clarity, view business opportunities, takes me to a place in which I was able to embrace this idea, even though I've been a practicing lawyer for 35 plus years, to elect to move forward in social media and start a podcast. Even though I've been a practicing attorney for 35 years, I can move in a different direction in a space that I knew nothing about with social media and Instagram and TikTok. This is the transition and journey that I went through. I believe a lot of people are going through it in different periods of their life. And if our platform can help motivate them and help take them to another place, that's what I'm here to do, and I'm excited for the opportunity to do it. If you're a man over 35 and what I'm saying hits home, or you're a woman and it hits home, subscribe, like, drop a comment, let me know. My platform is designed to help motivate and take you from point A to point B in a positive way. I share my story with you because I think that a lot of people have gone through this or are going through this at different parts of their life. Let me share this with you. Nobody's gonna save you. You may not have a father or a parent like I did that kind of gave me that aha moment. Maybe I could be your parent. Maybe I could be the one that gives you the aha moment. You're scrolling along and you saw this. The bottom line to it is that you gotta save yourself. You need to do what you need to do. You know what you need to do. What would you say to your 35-year-old self and you're sitting, you're 45, 50 years old? What would you say to your 35-year-old self now? Would you be happy with where you are? You still can make a change. Make that change. It's important to make that change. You only have one life and you can do it. You may say to yourself, it's too late. The ship has sailed. I can't do anything about it. Let me tell you right now, it's never too late. I was in my 40s and I made that change. I'm 60 years old right now. It's not never too late. Bullshit. Don't listen to the noise. You can make that change. It's up to you. You can change your entire life. It takes one small step. Don't think of it along the lines of this huge project that you have to hit. One step at a time. Think of it along the lines of when you were a baby. Think of how you took your child, if you had a child, and you taught him how to walk. One step at a time. That's the same thing here. One step at a time, and you could change your life for the better. Guys, this is my first YouTube video. I've posted a bunch of stuff on Instagram, TikTok. I'm gonna be posting a lot more on YouTube. Stick around if you like this type of stuff. I'm looking forward to share with you my journey and motivate you and let you realize that you can change your future, you can control your journey, and you can become the best version of yourself. Thank you. If my content resonates with you, hit the like button, subscribe, share, put in some comments. In order to grow this channel, we need your help. We're here for you to help motivate, but be sure to smash that button and subscribe.